Okay, so we want to make these these two things links that are clickable so that we can go, back and forth between the home page and the contact page. We want it to function as a navigation. In order to do that, we need to make these two list items links. So let's go ahead and go in here. The link is typically an A tag, and that should go inside of the LI tag. So if we start with our caret, start typing in A, we can kind of do this and just put our closing tag on the other end of the home text and do the same to contact. I just put the caret, the backslash, and it did auto fill in the rest of the closing A tag. Okay, so that's kind of what we want to do here with these two LI items. Your code should look like this. If you need to pause the video at any point, that will help you kind of get caught up if I'm going a little bit too fast. Okay, so now we need the href in there because it tells the browser where to find our links, or where our link goes, actually. So let's put inside of the A tags, we'll put href, and it puts two little quotes, and this is where we would put our file path. Or so we'll just do that to both of these. And then for the home page, we have this index.html file, so we want the browser to go into our folder, which is /index.html, and find the HTML file. So this / means inside of the root folder, and then this is the index.html file that I want you to open for the home page. Okay, and we're going to do an href on this one too. We haven't created the contact page yet, but we already know what it's going to be named, so we can actually create this link. So let's go ahead and put in /contact.html. Make sure not to get any unnecessary spacing in there, or if you get one character wrong, that can throw off your whole website. So let's go in here and see. Okay, yeah. So this one's not clickable because we don't have a contact page. We can go back. We can go to the home page. It's just refreshing the page, basically. You can see index.html here at the end of the URL. So if we go back into Sublime Text, we can create the contact page. So let's go to the plus button up here. Let me do this. Plus button. We'll make a new file, basically. It's untitled right now, so we can do a file save as, and let's just put it inside of our root file contact folder, HTML. We want to name it contact.html, much like the index, but just, different name here. No uppercases or anything like that. So you can see that changed the name up there, and it is going to match this. So Command S just to save that. Actually, I think we just saved it, so we should be good. But if we go into HTML here and do Command A, Command C, so Command A is select all. On a Windows, you do a Control A. Copy that, and then Command V on a Mac, or Control V on a Windows, and paste in everything that we had on the home page into the contact page. So let's, instead of Hello World, let's put contact in the title so that the title of our browser will tell us it's a contact page. And then we can leave the nav the same, and then we can say this is the contact page. So when we go into Chrome, we can refresh, and we can go to the contact. Let's see, is that working? Yep, contact.html. And it does change. The thing up here changes when we're on the contact page. You can see that we're on the contact page here, and also this says this is the contact page. So it's very similar, but you can see that we are able to navigate our website. Our nav is working. We have two links that are clickable, which is great. It's not styled or anything, obviously, but we do have the raw HTML there. So let's see here. What are we going to do next? So let's look at the code in our HTML file, the index HTML, and let's add in another essential semantic element that most websites have, which is a footer. And the footer tags are usually always above the closing body tag. So if we go here and push return and then maybe just space up again, we can actually add in our footer. Actually, we do want to tab in one, so push tab and to indent properly, because this is actually, yeah, it should be nested in there. So start typing in footer, and then it will automatically make that closing tag, and you can push return to open it up. And then let's put a P tag in here, and then some text, contact me at marynauer. You know, you can put in whatever in there. You can put mine in there, it's fine. Just something in there to show that we put the footer in. It's not going to look like much on our page. We go into Chrome and refresh. You can see it did put that in there. Oh, I have an extra quote, looks like, which is not good. Command S to get rid of that. Okay, so the footer is something that every website has. Usually there's another navigation in the folder, or in the footer, I mean, but we're not going to make more than one nav for a beginning page here. And then there's another thing that we should bring in that's on basically all websites between, you know, besides the head, the body, the header, the nav, and the footer, there's also usually a main section. This was covered in the Codecademy. There was a nice little graphic of it somewhere. I wish I had that pulled up, but underneath header, we can go ahead and put that underneath the header. So, and basically the main is the area of like all the content on your page, like all of the H1s, paragraphs, audio tags, video tags, you know, imagery. So I did start the autofill process. It did create my closing main tag, so I'm just going to do Command X, which is a cut, and I am going to paste it right above the footer, and B, and I'm going to nest these inside of the main. They need to be indented for legibility. So the main is on the same level as the header and the footer, and it's nested inside the body tag. Okay, so we have our main in there. That's where all of our content, for the most part, is going to be, like the main content, besides the footer and the header. And you can see if you look at websites, I mean, there usually is a header, like a bar, and then there's the main content, and then there's usually a bar at the bottom. That's the footer that has another nav in it. So we're just following convention here. Let's make some list items, an unordered list, or no, an ordered list, containing oranges and apples. So let's just go underneath, let's see here, the paragraph tag, ordered list, start typing that in, and then open that up with a return. And these have list items just like unordered list did in the nav. And we're going to do two of them, LI, autofill, and then let's put oranges and then apples. I just want to show you what these look like. I mean, we're probably going to end up deleting these later on in the demo, but the ordered lists are numbered and the unordered are bulleted, and unordered lists are used for navigation. So yeah, that's the difference between those. Unordered list and an ordered list. Let's try adding in an image. So we're going to try to find a stock photo on a website. Safari. I've been going to Unsplash. You guys can go to Unsplash, look up Havre, Montana. Here's a couple images. These are nice. These are bear paws, so I'm going to download that. And I'm going to go into my downloads folder. I need to rename these files because they are not named very well. So let me just rename this. I'm going to click on it, landscape. Let's name it landscape. So hopefully you downloaded the same one as I did. If not, you know, you can still name it landscape. It might be something different, but it's not a huge deal. If you do something different, you can always switch it out with a different image. Not a big deal. I do want it downloaded directly from a stock photography website though. Okay, so let's do a Command C to copy, and then go into our documents folder and go into that root folder we created. Okay, just a second. Okay, and then now we can actually add a new folder in this root folder with our index and our contact HTML files. So let's do file, new folder. You can always right click with a PC and I think do a new folder that way if you're on a Windows. But let's name this new folder Images and double click inside of that so that we're inside of the Images folder, and let's do Command V to paste our landscape JPEG. We want to make sure that we do have this spelled correctly and that it's all lowercase and that you do have the file extension. Typically, the only files you'll be working with web design and development would be JPEG or PNG files. PSDs out of Photoshop or any other type of file just is not going to work for you as far as images go. Let's try adding in this image. So if we go into our code, let's add in our image. So one thing you can do, we can look for image tag HTML. So go ahead and Google that. And we can go to W3C Schools. They actually create the code for the website, for websites. So this is a very legitimate source, the W3 Schools. Let's copy this code. So we can just steal code, and I'm showing you this so that you can know that it's totally okay to copy paste code and then just edit it from there. And we want to put this above our H1 tag inside the main. So this isn't quite right, but we can always change it up. So we'll just do / images. So we want to go into the inside of our root folder, inside of the images folder, and then I want you to look for landscape.jpg. So this is the file. We need to spell that correctly. This should be your file path. This is what tells the browser where to find that image. The alt tag is important to get in there. It's for screen readers, for people with disabilities, very important. So when writing alt text, remember to use relevant words that describe your image accurately and keep it relatively short. So I'm going to just say like grassy, sun setting over grass, hills, something like that. It doesn't have to be capitalized, I don't think, but, and then this width and height, let's take that off. I don't want that in there. So that's what our image should look like with the alt text, which helps people know what that image is if they're using a screen reader, if they're vision impaired. Okay, so definitely omit words such as image of or picture of, because the alt tag implies that this is an image. So let's do Command S to save it. Let's go into Chrome and refresh. Okay, one thing we notice right away is when you download an image directly from a stock photography website, you're getting it at full size. And one of the problems with a full-size image is that you get super slow load times, which can make people get bored and move away from your website. So we need to size this image down in Photoshop. So let's go into Photoshop and let's do File, Open. And let's go to our download. Actually, let's go into our actual documents and into our root folder that we created for this demo. So I'm going to have to find mine. I can do it by date added so I can find it faster. Images and my landscape. So I'm going to open that up in Photoshop. Make sure you're in Window Workspace Essentials. Okay, let me see. This isn't quite okay. So you can see over here it's locked. Let's unlock that. I'll bring this back over here. And then go to image size. And let's make sure that resample is checked. And the width is 50 by 76 tall and 72 ppi. With 72 ppi is what we want for the resolution for the web and for screen. But this width is too much. I think let's make it 15 inches. That's about the width of most browser or screens. So let's push OK. And you'll see after you do that, it does get smaller. And then just do a file, save a copy, and make it a JPEG format. Don't forget to make it a JPEG format. Take this off. We do want to replace the file, so make sure it's landscape.jpg and go ahead and push save and replace. And we will do more. Push OK there. And so we did just replace our file. We sized down the image using Photoshop.